Friendly dog grooming. Grooming pets is especially beneficial to families. The very first thing I do with any dog that comes in, even one I already know, is get them clipped down short and brush them out completely before anything else touches their coat. It might seem unnecessary if you're about to shave most of that hair off anyway, but there are two real reasons to do it. First, brushing removes loose hair and built-up dander from the skin, so you're not trying to clip and then dry a coat that's full of debris you didn't need to deal with in the first place. Second, and just as important, brushing stimulates the skin and gets circulation going before you do any clipping, which makes the whole process more comfortable for the dog and gives you a better sense of their skin and coat condition before you start. So even on a full shade down, don't skip this step. Next, I take care of the ears. A lot of breeds, including this one, grow hair right down into the ear canal, and that hair needs to come out before grooming continues, since it traps moisture and debris and can lead to ear infections if it's left in place. For a dog with a smaller amount of ear hair, you can often remove it gently with your fingers, just plucking out what's reachable without forcing anything deeper than is comfortable. I deliberately wait until after the bath to actually clean the ears with a proper ear cleaning solution rather than doing it now. The reason is simple. If any water gets into the ear canal during the bath, a good cleaning solution afterward helps dry out the canal and kill off any bacteria that snuck in, which is exactly what prevents that water from turning into an ear infection later. So, pluck now, clean after the bath. Pre-clip body pass. Approximate 3:15 to 5:35. Now we get into the actual clipping. For a low-maintenance pet trim like this one, I'm using a size 7 blade on the body and legs, which leaves a short, manageable length without going all the way down to the skin. I always start at the occiput, which is just the bony bump at the back of the skull where the neck meets the head, and I work with the lay of the coat from there, meaning I'm clipping in the same direction the hair naturally grows rather than against it. One important thing to understand about a pre-clip pass like this, it is not going to look finished or pretty yet, and that's completely normal. A coat with a lot of buildup and dander, especially one that's gone a bit longer between grooms, just isn't going to lay down cleanly until it's actually been washed and conditioned in the tub. So don't judge your work at this stage. Think of this pass as clearing the bulk of the hair efficiently, so you're not trying to bathe and blow dry a full, heavy coat. The real finishing work happens after the bath. As you move around the body, pay attention to a few specific spots. When you're coming off the flank, the soft skin along the side of the body, always clip away from that area rather than directly into it, since the skin there is thin and more easily nicked. On the legs, support the leg and paw gently in your hand and run the clipper straight down the limb in a smooth, continuous motion. Around the tail, lift it gently to access the area underneath, and go slowly if you notice any matting, since matted hair sits much closer to delicate skin and needs a careful, patient hand rather than a fast pass. Work your way around both back legs, then move to the front legs and chest using the same careful, methodical approach, always following the direction the coat grows. Once the body is pre-clipped, I move on to setting the basic shape of the face. I switch over to a finer blade, a size 10, fitted with a guide comb attachment, which lets me set a slightly longer, more deliberate length on the head rather than taking it all the way down. Starting again at the occiput, I comb forward toward the muzzle, then come up the sides of the face and gently under the jaw, always moving slowly and staying very aware of where the eyes are. The teeth on these guide combs can be pointed, so a slow, controlled hand matters a lot here, especially on a wiggly or first-time client. At this stage, you're only setting the overall length, not creating the finished shape. That detail work comes later with scissors once the dog is clean and dry. With the pre-clip done, it's time for the bath, and this is where a soft, build-up heavy coat actually starts looking the way it's supposed to. Before anything else, I want to mention a simple safety setup for the tub. A short length of paracord or bungee cord, looped so it goes around the dog like an adjustable leash and then back underneath both front legs through the loop, makes a surprisingly effective and inexpensive tub harness. It keeps the dog secure and comfortable without needing a fixed grooming arm, and it's an easy thing to make yourself. The bath itself happens in a few stages. I start with a gentle facial scrub formulated specifically for use around the eyes and mouth, since regular shampoo isn't designed to be safe that close to the eyes. I let that sit for a minute or two while I move on to washing the rest of the body, which gives it time to loosen any crusty buildup around the eyes and mouth before I rinse. For the body, I use a gentle, hypoallergenic shampoo as the base wash, diluted in a bowl or mixing bottle rather than applied straight from the bottle, since diluted shampoo spreads more evenly and is gentler on the skin. For a coat with heavier buildup, like the one we're working with today, a second pass with a dedicated degreasing shampoo helps lift oil and debris that a standard wash alone might not fully remove. Work the shampoo into a lather everywhere. The legs, the armpits, the paws, and the area around the tail, while being careful to keep it away from the eyes. Once you're satisfied everything is clean, rinse thoroughly with lukewarm to cool water, never hot. Hot water opens the pores, and since there's always some bacteria present in water, that's an easy way to invite skin irritation or infection you don't need. While rinsing the head, fold the ear flap gently down against the side of the face, which lets you rinse that whole area thoroughly while keeping water from running down into the ear canal. After rinsing out the shampoo, apply a conditioner and let it sit on the coat for 3 to 5 minutes before rinsing it out as well. Conditioning isn't optional in my book. It helps rebalance the skin and coat after washing, and it makes every step that comes after, brushing, clipping, and drying, noticeably easier. While the conditioner sits, run a wide-toothed comb gently through the face and ears, which both distributes the product and works out any last bit of debris. Once the final rinse is done, towel off as much water as you reasonably can before moving to a dryer, whether that's a stand dryer, a handheld dog dryer, or even a regular hair dryer on a cool or low heat setting if that's what you have at home. Getting the coat as fully dry as possible matters more than it might seem. A coat that's even slightly damp underneath will make your finishing clip look uneven, and it's also just more comfortable for the dog overall. Take your time here rather than rushing through it. Now that the bath is done, this is the point where I go back and actually clean the ears with a proper ear cleaning solution made for dogs. Put a small amount on a cotton ball, gently wipe out the visible parts of the ear, and you'll often be surprised how much debris comes out, even from ears that looked fine. This step, combined with plucking the hair out earlier, is a simple habit that goes a long way toward preventing ear infections down the road. With a clean, dry coat, it's time for the finishing pass, and this is where the haircut actually starts looking complete. I switched to a much finer blade, a size 30, for a few specific areas: the feet, the sanitary area, and any tight spots around the face or ears that need a closer trim than the body. It's worth understanding why blade size matters here. The teeth on a finer blade, like a 30, sit much closer together than on a 7, which means there's less hair between the blade and the skin, so it cuts noticeably closer. That's exactly what you want for sanitary and paw areas, but it also means you need to be more careful and deliberate, since there's more risk of catching the skin if you're not paying attention. Work around the sanitary areas slowly, and with very light pressure, keeping the skin taut where you can and always staying aware of exactly where the blade is relative to the body. On the feet, trim between the pads and around the toes carefully, since this area tends to be sensitive and a lot of dogs are ticklish here, so a calm, steady hand and a few short breaks if needed go a long way. The last bit of work is all scissor finishing. For the tail, gently feel along the bone, so you always know exactly where it is. Then trim the length and shape the fluff into a natural-looking taper rather than a blunt cut. For the feet, curved shears work well to round off the shape and create that classic, neat, rounded paw look, simply following the natural outline of the foot and trimming away anything that breaks that shape. Finally, go back over the whole dog with thinning shears, brushing up any flyaway hairs the clipper couldn't quite catch and blending them in so no stray pieces are sticking out anywhere. And that's a complete beginner pet trim from start to finish. Brush, pluck the ears, pre-clip the body, set the face, bathe and condition, dry completely, clean the ears, finish the detail areas with a closer blade, and scissor in the final shape. It's a simple, repeatable routine that just about anyone can learn, and the result is a dog who's comfortable, clean, and easy to maintain between grooms. If you're a beginner groomer or a pet owner trying this at home for the first time, don't worry about getting every single pass perfect. Focus on going slowly, staying aware of where your blades and shears are at all times, and the results will keep improving with practice. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you at the next session.